the dignitaries present on the dais. First of all, Dr. Ashok Kumar Lahiri, Vice Chairperson, NITI Aayog. Shri Rajiv Gauba, Member NITI Aayog. Professor K.V. Raju, Member NITI Aayog. Professor Govardhan Das, Member NITI Aayog. Professor Abhay Karandikar, Member NITI Aayog. Dr. M. Srinivas, Member NITI Aayog. Dr. R. Balasubramaniam, Member NITI Aayog. And Dr. Joram Ania, Member NITI Aayog. Now I invite Vice Chairperson NITI Aayog, Dr. Ashok Kumar Lahiri, for opening remarks and sharing detailed highlights of today's deliberations. So over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. It has been a long day for us. We had the 11th Governing Council meeting today at Rashtrapati Bhavan. And as you know, our Governing Council is one of the most powerful congregation of men and women from the country. Is the Prime Minister as chairman, and the Governing Council members are the Chief Ministers of States, Lieutenant Governors and Administrators. Today we are happy to tell you that the Chief Ministers of all the 28 states were present, and we benefited from their insightful comments. The Prime Minister spoke at length. We started around 10 o'clock in the morning, and we saw the Prime Minister off at 6:30 in the evening, and we are here right from there. So the topic for the Governing Council meeting was Inclusive Human Development for Viksit Bharat 2047. And it was about details. The states talked about what they're doing. And mind you, this inclusive human development covers all the 4 stages of life, from childhood to youth, to working life, to old age. And it covers education, health, employment, welfare, all aspects of life. And it's very important because, as good journalists, as you know, a skilled population is the key to success. Some people say that in Japan, during the Tokugawa, after the Tokugawa period in Meiji Restoration, Japan started taking off when literacy reached 40%. And our literacy is above 70% already. So a literate population, a healthy population, a well-educated population is the key to success. So we had long discussions. We benefited from the comments of the chief ministers. I think rather than me holding a monologue, what I'll prefer to do is that you field questions, and what we'll do, as you can see, we are in full strength, and we have experts from different fields. Some questions I may answer myself, otherwise I'll request my wise members to answer them. So over to you.
Thank you, sir. I'll ask all of you the floor is open for questions. Please introduce yourself and your organization's name. So I'll start with 46.
Sir, namaskar. I am Deepak Das. I am from Times of India. You rightly talked about that NITI Aayog talked about all the 4 stages of life. And the most important stage of life, people come to workplace, that is in cities. Our cities are in very bad shape. Whether we can't walk, the quality of life is bad, So did the NITI Aayog discuss anything about how to improve the cities which are the growth centers?
Can we take four or five questions together, then reply?
Okay.
That will be better. 238.
So this is Deepshika from the Economic Times. The meeting was held in the backdrop of what's happening in the West Asia. The crisis has deepened. Were there views expressed on that, how to navigate the crisis going forward, and what kind of measures can be taken at the state level, and how can center sort of help?
Come again.
The meeting was held in the backdrop of what's happening in the West Asia, the crisis, the conflict is deepening. So in terms of, shielding India's economy, was there any discussion, on the impact of the crisis on, with the states? And also what measures can the states take to shield the Indian economy? And Center, what were the views expressed by Honorable Prime Minister? So on.
54. After that, we will.
So just following up on that question, I'm Dhruvaksh from Business Standard. There also has been a massive impact on states and how they're working because of the West Asia crisis and the kind of fiscal impact that states are expected to see. Did states make any representation for any sort of assistance from the center or anywhere that the center can support, given that their finances will also be impacted significantly due to the crisis?
Okay, sir. We will take next round again. Yeah,
Okay.
Please.
Okay, let me start off and then ask my colleagues to. You asked about rural to urban migration and what is happening. So the chief ministers who deal with this problem day in and day out, one of the chief ministers, I won't name him, he mentioned how you have metropolitan cities, you have the peripheral region, and you have the rural areas. And I think many chief ministers and the Prime Minister talked about disorderly urbanization. I think our leadership, by our leadership I mean the Prime Minister and the Chief Ministers, our governing council, they're fully aware of the fact that we need planned urbanization. And there was talk about industrial parks, which can be plug and play, where you need housing, where you need sewerage system, you need roads, schools, parks, all sorts of facilities. And the chief ministers who spoke with us, they also said that the solution is not in building high-rises and then worrying about roads, sewerage, etc. We should plan in advance. About the West Asia, and the other is, the third one was state. What was the third question? Informal support. I will ask my colleagues. Rajiv, you want to add something on this? These last two?
Not on this, but only like to, make it clear, to Deepak's question about urbanization and cities and Deepshika about the West Asia situation, that over the last few years, the discussions in the Governing Council have become far more focused. And as a prelude to this, there is the Chief Secretary's Conference. A lot of preparatory work goes on, and therefore the Governing Council devotes itself primarily to the theme that has been chosen. Everything under the sun doesn't get discussed. So as the Vice Chairman explained in the beginning in his introductory remarks, that the theme of this 11th Council meeting, 11th meeting of the Council, was human development. Again, as a component of the overall Viksit Bharat context. And the chief ministers also, by and large, addressed themselves to these issues: health, education, skill development, and so on. Of course, the West Asia situation, etc., is there, at the back of everyone's mind. So it is that context everybody is aware of. So it is there at the back of the mind. But the issues were discussed were primarily the human development. Urbanization, yes, it did came in for discussion. As Mr. Lahiri mentioned, many chief ministers referred to the issue of urbanization, the demographic transition that we are undergoing, and rapid urbanization, and the need to, have planned urbanization. And in that context, I would like to inform you that NITI Aayog has been working with the ministries to prepare, and it was recently released, in fact, at a conference chaired by the Urban Development Minister for, Mahua, and the state ministers, an agenda for transforming urban governance. The planning dimension, the finance dimension, and the governance dimension. So that is the, thing about the urban question. I don't think any chief minister specifically asked for any assistance because of the West Asia situation. Yes, there was some discussion about the need for energy security. And in that context, the schemes like Govardhan, etc., they need to expedite implementation of those. Thank you.
I'll just add, if you have seen the Prime Minister's tweets, Kirti, these are Prime Minister's tweets, no? The first tweet of the Prime Minister is, "The world is passing through a period of uncertainty and instability. Yet India continues to move forwards on its growth trajectory with confidence and determination." Now here, I think I'm paraphrasing what our governing council members had in mind, that you can't change the wind. You can only trim your sails. So West Asia crisis, India is playing its role, our foreign ministry is playing its role. But what we have to do, as we are growing, we're the fastest growing economy in the world, major economies in the world. So what we are doing is, we have to keep doing our homework, and which is actually the human development of human capital. Just because the West Asia crisis is there, we can't be paralyzed. We have to keep doing our work, and that was what was happening. Now, anyone else wants to say anything, add anything on this? Anyone else? Okay.
Thank you, sir. Next third row. Yes, starting with 22, 130, 266, and 127. One by one.
सर मैं शैलेश यादव हूँ सर, ANI न्यूज़ एजेंसी से। सर एक टॉपिक इसमें,
तो नीति आयोग की ये प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण थी, किस तरह के